Good morning. It is July 16th, 2021, and today we're looking at mostly a range day, but I guess in terms of, since the open, it's been just trending down. In the overnight, we had two legs up, and looks like the market might be making an attempt at a second leg down right now. Let's see, like right here maybe. But then we would have to measure. So yeah, it looks like it's attempting to go a little lower and make two measured legs down. These measured moves today were pretty spot on. These measured legs, they were really just perfect. Market geometry, not failing. I have this marked. This is a failure. I got trapped there. We'll talk about that as I go through this. But let's take a look at these trades. So I guess had I thought to take a look at this, for some reason I didn't measure this leg from here. And that would have helped me not get trapped here. We'll talk about that. But I don't think I didn't find this measured move until just now, unfortunately. So in the overnight, we get this this channel up. We get a break, and looks like two legs up, and we get a trip, like a first test of that, second test of that level, and then a third test right here. And that makes almost a perfect measure move if we drop this here, but that's not how it works. That's why these two legs are a perfect measured move. I don't see anything you can go long in shortly after 5 a.m. I think I also got tricked because I was looking at this as like this from here to up here as like a really strong trend with no correction, but yeah, I just read it wrong. So shortly before the open, we make this high. You get a first entry. I actually went long here because I was thinking this was a runaway trend, and I just read it absolutely wrong. So I went long on a first entry, got trapped, and then first entry, second entry, I got trapped here too. But look at that, that's congestive, and I just read it wrong. It wasn't a runaway trend. And I think had I seen these two perfect measured moves, I would have. I think that should be your signal to sit out and see what happens. And if you're doing that and you see this congestion, you're not going to go long here. You're not going to go short either, but you're not going to go long. So anyway, it does turn out that we reversed. And yeah, it looks like maybe this is one leg up, two legs up to a new high after the break of this channel. So we start trending down clearly. First entry failure is right here. I don't think you can go short there. I mean, maybe if you're an excellent chart reader and you know what's going on, but that's congestive. You're going short into an important area of support. But then we make these swings, and this is pretty clear that we are, by the end of this area, it's pretty clear that we're trending down. Small corrections here. You get a pullback. I looked at this as I think I took this first failed second entry long near the EMA, but then you get a first second entry short right here. Here, let me delete this. This is probably, well, I'll keep that for a second. This is second entry short. You would have had to, if you have the same signal bar as me, that's not the greatest signal bar, but if you had this channel drawn, that's pretty close, and it's off the EMA, so you might see that. I do want to point out, I was thinking maybe some traders were playing channel off of these two lows. I dragged it up. Didn't really look like the midline was doing much. There's a bounce here, but that's it. But you can see some congestion right here. However, that could just be like a perfect measured move from here. Yeah, and it's close. So, anyway. We get those two great entries. We get an overshoot. Doesn't lead to a break yet. So let's delete this channel. This is like just a first entry off the EMA, but that's because it's a double bottom. So we get a first entry kinda and a second entry short. That's why I'm looking at it like that. That if you happen to take that, it's also like 4 ticks. You get a really nice move down, and that makes a perfect measured move right here. We'll get into that. So prices started ranging here. Really, maybe you would have had it drawn like that, but I had it drawn right here after these swings. But prices started ranging. I don't think you can go long yet, even though this looks like a good setup to go long above. It's actually a first entry, second entry short. After this, it just feels like you can go short here, and you get a lower high if you're hesitant there that closes beneath the EMA. This is technically the second entry short right here, but this looks like a second entry short. So you can take either of those, I think. Hit the bottom of the resistance, and we get more congestive up here. You can't enter any of this. This is way too choppy. First entry, second entry. So that would be a going with trend, taking a first, second entry with trend. I wasn't watching this live. And let's see, maybe if you measured. I don't know, this just looks like a channel that hasn't broken yet. So I'm just not too crazy about that. But if you're playing this correctly, like it's a range, then yeah, go short right there. And if you don't trust that, I looked at this as a lower high, back into congestion, perfectly, low risk, 5 ticks. So I really like that entry. Even though I marked it aggressive, I like that. We come down here, and this is a breakout. It's also a second entry long, failed breakout. I think you can go long there. I could understand why some people might have reservations going long here, because that also looks like a channel that may not have broken yet, but it's a failed breakout. I'm not sure why I marked this. Maybe I went short there myself. First entry, like a failed second entry long. Everyone's exiting their trades. And then here you get like a first entry, second entry, like failed second entry long off this high is what I was looking at this as. So maybe if you looked at that as a trap, maybe you could take it. It also looks like maybe there's a maybe a little trend there. It's also a first entry, second entry short, so something to think about. Here is where we hit the measured move, and look, if you draw this range and you put on the measured moves, we hit that perfectly, as well as make our measured move from this leg. Boom. So that's why I marked that. Yeah. And that's actually like the true second entry off this high. First entry, second entry. Just things to consider. A lot of these second entries were failing today because it's a range day, though. So I mean, these are days I'm upset that we won't get to see Mack's lesson for a day like today, but at the same time, that makes me want to study the chart more thoroughly. So you get a first entry, second entry, short right here, and at this point, this is the third test on that midline of that range. So it's still an aggressive entry, but it's second entry short We've been getting resistance. It's a double test of that high, that level in the midline. So something to think about. This, I don't know if this was a 4-tick failure, but this looks really good and tempting. Let's see, 38.50. Okay, so this would have worked. So I like this, but the only reason I wouldn't mark this, and even now that I'm looking at it and know that it works, is because this midline has been holding prices. So that is something to think about, though. Here, this is just no good signal bar. Not quite, it's not a breakout, so we're not going to fade it or anything. First entry, second entry short. Okay, yeah, this looks like a, oh no, okay. First entry, second entry short, third entry, fourth entry. So I feel like you can go short here. If you have these measured moves drawn, look, it perfectly makes a double test of that price level here. So I really like that for going short. Even if you didn't take that, you get a lower high. I think you got to go short on that lower high. And guys, this is where these measured moves were just hitting nonstop. So look, we make this leg down, we make a perfect measured leg down, maybe like a tick further, 2 ticks further. And let's look at this trap. This is a really good trap right here. And I got trapped doing this. So you get a first entry, second entry long, okay, and then it ticks higher and goes short, okay. I'm pretty sure I went short here thinking it's a trap. It's trapped longs. It's an engulfing bar too. But then they take 1 tick lower here after the almost perfect measured move, and they take it a little higher. So I thought that was a really awesome trap. I should have been playing this trend channel though. So if I was playing the trend channel, I wouldn't have got trapped. And then we make 2 perfect measured legs higher, and it takes 1 tick higher than that perfect measured move, and then the floor falls out. It is a first, second, unfortunately a third entry, but if you have these measured moves drawn and you see it's right there at that potential level of resistance, if you want to be aggressive, I don't see why not. You know, we have a serious downward bias. Yeah, so that would be an excellent move. I'm sure you would have gotten a runner here. So yeah, something to think about. Let's move this line over a little bit. Let's see. I think it's about right here. So we get this breakout. This definitely traps some longs, thinking that we're breaking back into congestion. Boom, moves down. And you get a first entry, second entry short off the overnight lows. Failed breakout of congestion. It's only a doji bar, but it's off the EMA, so I like that. But it is aggressive. We don't know what's going to happen here, but after that big leg down, I like that, even though it's aggressive. Let's see, is this? You get a nice move out of that. This is just too congestive. Don't get a second entry opportunity here, or else I would have taken it off of this measured move trend channel. Once we hit that measured move, you can see, boom, it bounces up, but then the resistance at that price level, or at that trend line, is too strong, and we continue to make a move down. And unfortunately, I didn't see any entries off of that trend channel, and it's combining with the EMA. So this might be, speak of the devil, this looks like that's a double bottom, but it looks like we might get a second entry off of that. So that's what I saw today. I am going to go through my trades. We'll see how this pans out. Another eager day. I'm just trying to work on being eager, and I'm thinking maybe I should try to sit out the first few minutes of the market open, because I just feel like there has to be entries, and that's what keeps happening, and there doesn't have to be entries, you know. So again, I went long here. I don't know why it's saying entry here. I thought I went one tick above this, but because if I entered on this bar, it's already clearly congestion after this bar closes like that. So yeah, this is congestive, and just hit the measured move. So not sure. And then I was like, okay, well, I failed on the first entry. Why don't I try the second entry? And that was just a trap. And yeah, I mean, look at how congestive it is. Really, I should have seen that and just sat on my hands. But if people entered on this trap, man, it's a nice move. Okay, here, what was I doing? I went long here. Is that? No, I went short here. Okay. So, okay, I looked at this as a first failed second entry long off, close to the EMA. That's definitely aggressive, though. I wish I just waited for this and spotted that as a first second entry short. And it looks like it's kind of back into congestion too. So, okay. Here I went long, which is counter trend, not a good idea. That was because of the potential of traders using these two lows. So I don't like that entry. It's not, maybe if I go long once it hits the overnight lows, but we didn't make it there yet, and it's clearly going to try and hit that price target. So I had a distraction, but like I said, I think you got to at least wait until we hit these overnight lows to go long. So I don't like that trade, that entry. I do like this entry. It is I didn't mark it as aggressive, but I think it is aggressive just because the bias is really down. And this, I don't know. It's hard to say because this does look like an overshoot. You know, but an overshoot as well as a failed breakout. And it's an engulfing bar, so I do like that entry. It is aggressive though. And here, like, I got trapped here. Plain and simple. I got trapped. Let me delete these. Oh, I didn't mean to delete that. Controls. Now there's no undo. I just pulled up this thing. I don't know what that is. Delete these measured moves. Yeah, I just got trapped here, going into a trend channel, the bottom of a trend channel. And if I had that drawn, no way I would go short there. That's way too aggressive. I think I might have went, yeah, I went right here, one tick below this, treating it like a failure. But yeah, like you need to enter high. So I think that was the last trade I took. Yep. And this would have worked. Wait, where were we looking earlier in this video? Oh, okay. I think it was like a first entry, second entry. Yeah, look, people got trapped here for sure. Cool. All right, so yeah, that's what I saw for today. I hope everyone had a good day, and I will be back next week.